Aduma lifted his calabash high and declared, "Let the boy's drum speak for the gods tonight." The crowd cheered, but Kojo's palms were cold. He felt the drum's spirit whisper, "Are you ready for what truth will break?" Taking a deep breath, he struck the first note. The sky trembled. The torches flickered. Each beat peeled back a layer of the chief's soul, his greed, his deceit, his betrayal of his own people. Gasps rippled through the audience as Aduma's hidden crimes poured forth, the stolen tribute, the cursed trade with slavers, the secret oath sworn in blood. By the final strike, silence fell heavy as stone. The chief rose, his face pale with fury. "Seize him," he roared. But as the guards approached, the drum let out one final echo, a roar like thunder, and the torches burst into blue flame. Kojo vanished into the smoke. When dawn came, Kojo was gone from Gama. The villagers found only a trail of scorched earth leading toward the great forest. Chief Aduma forbade anyone from speaking his name, declaring him a traitor and sorcerer. Yet in secret, mothers told their children, "The boy who spoke truth will return." Kojo wandered far beyond familiar lands. He crossed savannas where lions roared like ancient drums, rivers that shimmered with crocodile eyes, and mountains crowned with mist. At night, the drum guided him, beating faintly in his dreams, leading him towards something greater than revenge. He met nomads, hunters, and healers who saw in him the mark of destiny. One evening, as he camped beneath a lonely baobab, a voice drifted from the darkness, "You carry the heartbeat of nations." From the shadows stepped a woman cloaked in feathers, her eyes the color of rain. "I am Nyoka, keeper of the wind," she said. "And your journey has only begun." Kojo stared at the woman before him, Nyoka, wrapped in feathers that shimmered like sunlight on water. Her presence stirred the air, even the crickets fell silent. She carried a staff carved with swirling patterns of wind and storm. "You carry a dangerous rhythm," she said softly, "one that can birth or bury kingdoms." Kojo bowed, his heart pounding. "I seek only truth," he said. Nyoka smiled faintly. "Then truth will cost you your peace." With a sweep of her hand, a gust of wind rose, carrying sand and whispers. The air filled with faint drums, countless, ancient. "Follow them," she said. "The ancestors wait beyond the plains of Fongo. There, you will learn whose voice speaks through your drum." As dawn broke, she vanished into mist. Kojo set out once more, feeling the drum pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat. He crossed grasslands shimmering with dew and watched herons glide across the sky. For the first time, he felt not cursed but chosen. Yet deep within the drum, a second heartbeat began to echo, one that was not his own. The plains of Fongo stretched wider than the horizon itself, endless seas of tall grass rippling like green waves. Kojo walked for days, guided by the drum's faint hum. Each night he slept beneath constellations that seemed to dance, their light flickering in rhythm with his heartbeat. On the fourth night, he came upon a campfire encircled by travelers, griots, hunters, and wandering spirits in human guise. They shared food, songs, and stories of a drum that could summon ancestors. When Kojo revealed his, the camp grew silent. The oldest griot, his face painted in white clay, said, "Child, that drum carries the voice of Aloran's mirror, the truth that even gods fear to face." Before dawn, the griot taught Kojo an ancient rhythm called the Path of Spirits, a beat that could open the veil between worlds. As Kojo practiced, he felt his soul stretch thin, his heartbeat aligning with something eternal. When he awoke, the griot was gone, but his staff lay beside the ashes, carved with the same markings as Nyoka's. The road of destiny was unfolding, and Kojo's steps could no longer turn back. After many suns, Kojo reached a river wide and slow, its waters shining like molten bronze. The locals called it Zambi, the river that remembers. Legend said it carried the memories of those who had drowned in its depths, warriors, queens, and forgotten spirits. To cross, one had to speak truth to the water. Kojo knelt by the shore, the drum by his side. "River of memory," he whispered, "I seek passage." The current swirled, forming faces, old, young, sorrowful, wise. A voice rose from beneath the water, "Truth-bearer, what do you hide within your heart?" Kojo hesitated. He had spoken truth for others but never for himself. He struck the drum once. Boom. The sound rolled across the river, and in it he heard his own fear, fear of losing his mother, fear of being forgotten, fear of what he might become. The river parted slightly, revealing a narrow path of light. Kojo stepped forward, trembling, but the drum's rhythm steadied him. When he reached the far side, dawn was rising, and the river whispered, "Go, child of sound, your truth is only beginning to sing." Beyond the river lay a small settlement, its huts circular and silent. No drums, no laughter, no songs. The air felt hollow, as though sound itself had fled. The villagers spoke in whispers and eyes full of fear. An old man told Kojo, "Our drums were taken by the king of dust, who silences all music so no truth may echo in his land." Kojo's heart burned. To live without rhythm was to live without breath. That night, he crept toward the king's compound, guided by moonlight and courage. Inside, he found a room stacked with broken drums, their skins torn, their spirits crying softly in the dark. He raised his drum and struck a gentle beat. One by one, the broken drums began to vibrate, humming in harmony. The sound rose like dawn breaking over despair. The king of dust awoke, his form made of sand and shadow. "Who dares awaken what I buried?" he thundered. Kojo met his gaze. "Truth cannot be buried," he said, and struck the drum once more. The vibration shattered the silence, and the king crumbled into dust, carried away by the wind. By sunrise, the village sang again, and Kojo walked on. After many moons, Kojo reached Bala, the spirit market, a place between worlds, where living and dead traded stories instead of goods. The air shimmered with magic. Stalls were lined with masks that blinked, gourds that sang, and shadows that bartered secrets. Kojo's drum pulsed as if recognizing its kin. A hooded woman approached him, her skin glowing faintly. "I have waited for you," she said. "The drum you carry belongs to the first drummer, whose heart still beats beneath the mountain of echoes. To awaken its full power, you must find the three rhythms of origin: sound, silence, and spirit." She gave him a gourd of echoing light. "Drink only when your path grows dark." Kojo nodded, feeling the weight of destiny settle upon him. As he left the market, every stall-keeper bowed silently. The wind carried whispers of his name across the plains, Kojo, the truth drummer. But unseen among the crowd, a shadow followed, a figure cloaked in smoke, muttering, "The boy's rhythm will break the world." Kojo's journey led him northward to the Whispering Gorge, a canyon carved by ancient winds that spoke in the voices of the past. The cliffs rose like walls of red fire, and every step echoed with faint murmurs, names, regrets, promises never fulfilled. Travelers avoided this place, saying the gorge devoured the hearts of the uncertain. As Kojo descended into its depths, his drum grew heavy, its skin trembling with unease. He felt the voices tugging at his mind, whispers of doubt and guilt. "You left your mother behind," one hissed. "You broke the chief's peace," said another. His steps faltered. The deeper he went, the louder the voices grew until they became a storm. But then Kojo remembered the griot's words, "When sound becomes noise, strike truth." He raised his drum and played a rhythm steady as heartbeat, calm as rain on leaves. The echoes shifted, no longer mocking, but harmonizing. The gorge sang back to him, its ancient sorrow eased for a moment. From the canyon floor rose a crystal shard glowing blue, humming with the first of the three rhythms, the rhythm of sound. Kojo took it reverently. "One truth found," he whispered. Above, the wind held approval. Kojo walked east until the land turned to dust and silence, the desert of quiet bones, where even wind refused to speak. Skeletons of forgotten beasts lay scattered, and dunes stretched endlessly, pale under the merciless sun. This was the domain of silence, where truth could neither hide nor echo. As he walked, he realized how much he had relied on sound, the drum's voice, the world's rhythm, the comfort of music. Here, there was nothing. Days passed, and thirst gnawed at him. His drum made no sound when struck, his voice vanished into dry air. He fell to his knees, dizzy and lost. Then, out of the stillness, a woman made of sand appeared, her eyes deep as night. Child of rhythm, she said, can you hear silence's song? Kojo closed his eyes and listened. Beneath the emptiness, he felt it, a quiet pulse, steady and ancient. The silence wasn't absence, it was truth waiting to be heard. He bowed deeply, and when he opened his eyes, the woman was gone, but beside him lay a fragment of white stone humming with stillness, the rhythm of silence. Kojo smiled faintly. Two rhythms found, one still hidden within the unknown. Beyond the desert lay the kingdom of mirrors, a city built of obsidian and river glass, where every wall reflected 1,000 faces. The people wore masks of silver to hide their true selves, and even their laughter was practiced. Truth is dangerous here, a guard warned Kojo as he entered. We live by reflection, not reality. The palace gleamed like water under moonlight. Inside, the Queen of Mirrors sat upon a throne of glass, her beauty both mesmerizing and cold. Truth drummer, she said, play for me, but beware, for in this kingdom, what you reveal may be your own undoing. Kojo struck his drum softly, and each note rippled through the hall, turning mirrors into memories. One by one, the masks of the courtiers cracked, revealing faces, some ashamed, some weeping, some defiant. Finally, a mirror before Kojo shone bright and showed his own reflection, but older, scarred, with eyes weary from truth. The queen watched, unmoved. You seek spirit, but truth without heart is a blade without hilt, she said. A single tear slid down her cheek, crystallizing into a shard that pulsed faintly with light. Kojo took it, the rhythm of spirit. The three rhythms were his, but the journey had just begun. That night, Kojo camped outside the glass kingdom, the three rhythms glowing softly beside his drum. When he struck them together, the air shimmered, and the world split open like a dream. He stood before a mountain of flame and mist, and from within came the sound of 1,000 drums beating as one. An immense figure emerged, neither man nor woman, cloaked in shifting light. Kojo of Ngama, the voice thundered, you carry the rhythms that shape truth. But truth without courage is silence wearing sound. The figure's hand reached toward him, and Kojo felt his spirit pulled apart, every fear, every lie, every doubt laid bare. When he awoke, he was lying on cool grass. The drum beside him was glowing from within, and etched upon its skin were three interlocking circles. The rhythms had fused into one, the pulse of the world. He wept quietly, not from fear, but from awe. The ancestors had chosen him, yet he knew power this great demanded a sacrifice. As Kojo prepared to continue his journey, a chill crept through the wind. From the edge of the horizon, black clouds gathered, swirling like smoke given purpose. The shadow that had followed him since the spirit market finally took form, a tall figure draped in darkness, eyes burning redo. I am Baro, the echo without truth, it hissed. I am what your drum silenced when it spoke at midnight. I am every lie that refuses to die. The ground trembled as it approached. Kojo raised his drum, his heart pounding like thunder. You cannot fight me with truth, Baro taunted. Truth divides, and I unite all lies. The spirit struck, and the sky split open with roaring wind. Kojo struck his drum once, the rhythm of sound, silence, and spirit combined. The blast shattered the air, sending both reeling. But when the dust cleared, Baro was gone, and the drum's skin was cracked. Kojo fell to his knees, clutching it. Somewhere in the distance, the wind whispered, the final rhythm is not found, it is lived. When Kojo awoke, the sky was gray with morning. The drum lay cracked beside him, its spirit dimmed, its heartbeat gone. The forest around him had fallen still, no birds, no rustling leaves, only the heavy breath of loss. He touched the drum's skin gently, whispering, forgive me. He remembered Mboro's final words, truth divides. Was it true? Had his quest broken the very balance he sought to protect? Kojo wandered aimlessly until he came upon a clearing where a single tree stood, a massive baobab, older than memory. Its roots pulsed faintly, as though it too remembered the drum's rhythm. He sat beneath it, closed his eyes, and listened. For the first time, there was no answer, not from the ancestors, not from the wind. Yet deep within the silence, he felt a tiny flicker, not sound, but warmth. The drum was not dead, it was sleeping. The baobab whispered through its leaves, all that is broken can be remade, but never as before. Kojo bowed his head, tears falling on the cracked drum, and swore to restore its voice, even if it cost him his own. Kojo's search for healing took him to Obara, the mountain of fire and water, where the rivers met molten stone. The people of the mountain were blacksmiths of the spirit, shaping tools not of metal but of memory. Their leader, Mzi Oben, was an elder whose body bore scars that glowed faintly with light. When Kojo arrived, Oben studied the broken drum. "This is no mortal wound," he said. "You broke a bond between worlds." Kojo knelt. "Then teach me to mend it." Oben nodded slowly. "To repair truth, you must face what you have hidden from yourself." He handed Kojo a hammer of obsidian and led him to the mountain's heart, where lava met rainwater and steam. There, Kojo struck the hammer upon the drum, once for truth spoken, once for truth lost, and once for truth feared. The mountain trembled with each blow. With the final strike, the crack glowed white-hot, then cooled. The drum's heartbeat returned, softer but deeper, carrying both sorrow and strength. "Now," Oben said, "you play not as one who speaks truth, but as one who is truth." On his descent, Kojo came upon a village bursting with color and sound, drums, flutes, and voices weaving.